for this card, again, I've taken all the elements out of sub box 7. I've got the 6x6 card blank here, and then I've got some of the plain pink card, and this is measuring 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. And I'm just going to stick that onto my card base, just using the all-purpose glue. So pop that on. That gives you a nice 1/8 of an inch all the way around, so it gives a nice frame to your card. And then I've got some of the paler pink with the writing on, and this is measuring 5 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches. So again, that will give us another layer to the card. So we've got a nice frame there for the card blank. Okay, the next thing I've done is I've taken 2 of the 8x8 sheets, and I've got a pink and the floral pattern, and I've actually glued them together with my all-purpose, so they're all glued together, and I left those overnight to get a nice stick, and so they were nicely dry. And then the next thing I've done is I've taken the medium, well, the second one in circles with the faux stitching, and I'm going to cut out 9 of these with my Gemini. So just taping those in place, and you need to cut 9 of your circles. So I'm going to get all 9 cut, and then I'm going to come back to you. So that's my last one die cut. Okay, so I've now got 9 of these circles. Okay, and the next thing I did was I cut myself a square which is 1 1/2 inches by 1 1/2 inches, and I'm using this as a bit of a template because it fits nicely in the middle of my square. And then what you're going to do with each one is you're going to fold over all 4 sides. So bear in mind you've got double thickness of your pattern paper, so just take your time, and it's going to give a quilted effect. So you could quite easily do this even with fabric, but I'm using everything that comes out of the sub box so you can see. So that's another one done. Okay, then take the template out, and you've got a square, and then I'm going to keep going until I've done all of my squares. I've got a couple here done already, so you can see the effect we're going to start getting. So I'll get all these done, and you can get yours done, and then we'll come back and start sticking these onto our card. Right, I'm on the last one now, and what I've done is as I've gone along I've stuck them onto my card base. So just folding over this last one, having this little 1 1/2 by 1 1/2 square does help you just get them right in the middle of where they need to actually be. So it's a good idea to have them there. Okay, so that's our last one there. So take that little template out now, and then just fold these in place, and then they fit nicely onto there. And then if you wanted to just give them a little burnish, you could just go along with your bone folder and give them a little burnish. And then I've stuck those down with my all-purpose, okay, because that just dries clear, which is perfect. So put that one in there, and then can you see here where they've sort of got the 2 crosses? I'm going to attach, I'm going to pick the blue pearls because I think it gives a contrast, because you've got the blue flowers in the background. And I'm just going to stick one each of these large ones onto the crosses there. So this just gives a lovely finishing touch. Now the card I'm making here you could quite easily transfer and do as a canvas for a bit of home decor if you wanted to, but I just think it just lends itself to something a little bit different with the circle dies. So that looks great in itself, but let's take it a little step further. So we've got our lovely stamps in this selection as well, and I'm going to take this lovely big, to me that's like a big sunflower stamp, so we're going to take the big sunflower stamp there. Got myself some watercolour cards, and I'm going to be using the Finesse ink pad for this in the Pebble. Okay, so I know that's going to be fine with my watercolour pens because I've got the watercolour brush on the stamp set there. So lots of light little taps. Okay, and just stamp that image down. Lovely crisp image. And then the other thing I've done in your stamps as well, you've got these beautiful leaves which again just lend themselves to the sunflower. They're just the right size. So if I stamp one of those down, can you see they're just perfect for that. So to colour these in, again I'm using my aqua markers. So I've picked moss here for the leaf, so I'm just going to scribble a bit of that on my mat, and I've got my round watercolour brush here, picking up that green and then just colouring my leaf. So very easy to do, and don't worry about going over the edges because I'm going to be fussy cutting these out by hand. And you may think, oh, what do you mean by fussy cutting, Dawn? Fussy cutting is meaning going around the edge with my scissors. And then if you want to do some more darker areas, just bring a little bit more of that green in, and then you can just build on that shading if you wish. But it's a great way to colour them. And then for the main flower itself, I have used sunflower and gold. So again, oh, get the right end. I'm going to bob a little bit down. In fact, what I did with this as well is I put a big circle in the middle. Okay, so that's the gold. And then picking that up, I've then just gone round the edge. So I've got the darker bit to the centre. So I'm not being too precious about it, and you don't have to be too precious about it. And then with the lighter colour, I'll pick the lighter colour up, which is the sunflower, and then you can drag that down to your petals. But you can see how quickly you can create a beautiful sunflower image. And then if you want to add some more of that darker colour, just picking that up and going around that edge. Okay, so that's your sunflower, but you can see how really quickly it comes together. You know, I'm just scribbling it on my mat here. You can use any medium you like to colour. You could use your alcohol pens, you could use your colour blend pencils, you could use your aqua pencils, you could use your sparkle pens. You know, Spectrum Noir with Crafter's Companion, we've just got lots of different ways that you can colour in, and the thing is you will find a medium that you prefer to colour with. I love watercolouring. I think it's a great starting point for people that reckon they can't colour, because it's very forgiving, because it isn't like painting your kitchen wall that has to be dead on perfect, because you have that little bit of watercoloured image. I'm not worrying too much about the edges, as I say, because I'm going to be fussy cutting this out. So can you see how quickly that can come together? And then again I can add a little bit of that darker gold just in the middle on these other petals to darken that up. But how quickly is that to bring together? Okay, so to fussy cut, take your scissors. Oh, I'm stuck over here. Take your scissors, and I'm just cutting around the edge. Now what I've actually done with mine, if I bring in my finished flower here, you can see it's lovely and 3D. I've used the watercolour cardstock, and I stamped this 3 times. So I did the background one as my main one, and then the next 2 I just focused on this middle section of the flower. And then as I've cut it, I've actually cut down some of these points so I can shape each of the petals, and I've shaped them just with my ball tool and a piece of foam. But because this is watercolour card, and I did this when this was damp, once it dries like this, it sets quite hard. So if that was to go in the post, that's not going to flatten very much at all. So don't be worried about it damaging at all. And you can see I've got that nice centre on there. And again with my leaves, I shaped those as well while they were wet. Okay, so again, when we go to put them on the project, they're nice and sturdy. Okay, so they've just got their nice shape to them. So let's finish off our cards by bringing this all together. So I've got my beautiful sunflower here. I've got a selection of my leaves. I'm going to bring some 3D glue gel in here. I've also picked a sentiment from the collection as well. So I've got here, you know, sending all my love. So it's just a lovely, just simple sentiment to add on to the card there, which I think is just beautiful. And then again, I've used my ribbon. You've got lots of ribbon, different sizes in the kit, and I've just done myself a simple little bow that I can just pop in the corner. So let's get this all put together. So big blob of the 3D glue on my flower, because I don't want that going anywhere, and I'm just going to stick it in this bottom square. Okay, so that sits perfectly there, doesn't it? And then I'm going to pop my bit of 3D glue. My dies are deciding to want to join in. I'm just going to pop my little bow there. Okay, and then some of my leaves that I've shaped, so just with a little bit of 3D glue on the back, and then just tucking them underneath, just to give that little bit of contrast. This one's not wanting to play ball. Get in there, that's it, play nicely. So the leaves just finish it off nicely, don't they? And it's, you know, everything has been thought out with these kits. I've not had to go to anything else in my crafty stash for this card. So it's all in the kit, so you can quite easily do this card at home. So they're on there, and then I'm going to pop my sentiment in there. So again, some 3D glue gel on my sentiment, and just tuck it under there. So I haven't used all the leaves that I've done, but I've got plenty. But that's your finished card. It's like a little hand quilted card using those circle dies, and we've used the stamps, the papers, the ribbon, the pearls, everything there to make a beautiful card that anybody would love to receive. So you've got everything in your subscription box, so you too can make one of these beautiful cards.